Hello and welcome once again to Grown Folk, the talk show for senior women. Yes, I said senior women.
Okay.
And those we love and take care of, right, ladies?
Oh, right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have a gift for you. Yes, we have a gift for you, but it's going to cost you a little bit of information. We want you to write to us on our website, grownfolk.info. There's a form that says contact us. It asks for your name and your email address and your comments. When you see that, fill it out. Give us your name, your email address, and 2 email addresses and names of people you want us to write to about our show and invite them to watch our show. And if you do that, guess what you're going to get? Woo! Yeah! Grown Folk. We're going to send it from our hearts to yours. Write to us and we'll get your address and mail it out to you as soon as we can. All right, it's a deal? Thank you very much. We have a great show for you today. It's jam-packed, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of a teaser. We have one of our favorite wellness practitioners stopping by to share some goodies with us. And I want to ask you a question, and you're going to have 60 seconds to ponder your answer. Can you parent your parent?
Oh, provocative.
And with that, we'll be right back.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, this may be the most important phone call you'll ever make.
I owed $50,000 in taxes. But listen.
Your tax problem is settled. You only owe $8,400.
What a great message.
I owed $13,000 on my taxes, but now?
Congratulations. You only owe $3,048.
How's that sound?
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, then you owe it to yourself to call this number or go to tax10000.com. Even if you're already at the point where you're struggling with levies and garnishments, let our experts help guide you through the process of negotiating a tax settlement.
We owe the IRS $28,000.
But check out what we actually paid.
Are you sitting down? You only owe $5,772.
Call 1-800-715-0580 or go to tax10000.com. 1-800-715-0580.
Welcome back to Grown Folk, the talk show for senior women. We have a wonderful guest that I want to introduce to you because there's a topic that we want to revisit. We visited it our first show and we found that there's a lot of interest in this topic, so we're going to look at it from a different angle today. I want to introduce to you Kay Paggy. She is a licensed professional counselor, a national certified gerontological counselor, and a care manager certified. So she works as a professional geriatric care manager. She's interested in all things that have to do with the process of aging. Welcome, Kay.
Thank you. I'm
so glad to have you here.
Thank you.
You know, I read Kay's white paper and it really intrigued me. It's a compelling article that is chock full of information. I'm going to start with 3 quotes. One I really related to and probably the reason why I asked Kay to come on the show. See if this rings a bell with any of you. My mother doesn't even like me. She never has. My father moved to another city after my parents divorced. I didn't see him from the time I was 9 until he got off the airplane to come live with me.
Wow.
My mother was sightseeing in Europe when I graduated from high school. She didn't even care enough about me to even attend my graduation ceremony. I relate to one of those sentences. I don't know if anybody else here does. You do?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So that was sort of speaking from the voice of the child inside of all of us. And that's what compelled me to ask Kay to come on the show and talk about some things. Kay, you ask, why are these people spending their precious time and resources caring for their aging parents when they were not nurtured by these parents themselves? And you say there are 3 reasons why we do this. Why do we do this?
Well, I think there's always hope that things will improve. Adult children love their parents, and it contributes to their self-respect to help their parents as they age. So I'm sure there are lots more, but particularly when you're dealing with parents that were not nurturing, I think those are some reasons why they do.
So hope, in my case,
Hope.
I was always seeking my mom's in particular approval. I don't know if anybody else can relate to this.
Oh, I can totally relate to that.
Yeah.
And also in my culture, I'm from Puerto Rico, it's your duty. You want to obviously work through issues, but there's also that feeling that you have to do it.
Choice is an interesting part of the equation. They've done a lot of studies on the power of choice, and what they found is that if you feel that you have to do something, you have no wiggle room, you have to do it, you're going to be more resentful, and it's going to be a poorer quality of care. You're not going to like doing it. But if you have a choice and you can choose not to, then no matter how onerous it actually is, you're going to do a better job of it, which is kind of interesting. I'm
sorry.
Go ahead.
But do you feel like potentially regretful? You know when as you age, your parents are getting older, and you don't want to have any remorse, regret about how you dealt with them, whether they are positive or negative influence in your life. A child, we were brought up to sometimes be pleasers, and also the regret aspect. I no longer have any parents, so right now, and I can't really relate to what you're talking about, because I had parents that were always very, very involved with my being and my brother's being, and we were the star, the moon, and the sunshine. So it was just, I was very, very fortunate. But I don't have no regrets, and because my father died of Parkinson's, and I took care of him last year's.
Well, I know as caretakers, should we continue to do things for our parents when there are other means for them to get it done? And,
Good question.
Should we?
Well, there again, choice. If the parent says, only you can take care of me, but there is money or other providers available, then they are making a choice to not use those, and you can make a choice to not provide it.
Okay.
And
so what about, you mentioned love being one of the reasons why we do this.
Yeah.
And in my case, that was definitely the reason why I did what I did. I felt obligated to do these things, even though my mom was not great at demonstrating love, telling me she loved me, showing me love. She was just from that generation.
Correct.
That grew up in the 20s and 30s. That just wasn't good at it. She kept her arms by her side. She didn't reach out and touch me, hardly at all, So love is what drives us to do this. It's one of the reasons why hope, love, and self-respect. If we don't do this, we will beat ourselves up.
Well, that is an option. You can beat yourself up if that's what you choose.
Self-mastery.
But if you recognize that your parent also has a choice, and you are, as a caregiver, you are their greatest asset. You are more important than assets in the bank or anything else they have. But you are also not infinite. You're finite. You have so much time, so much energy, so much patience, and you can become depleted. We call that caregiver burnout.
Right.
About that.
And I have had caregivers just hit the wall and say, I can't do it anymore. I'm out of here. My mother had a nervous breakdown and went in the hospital. So the idea is to like a person who's drowning, put on your life preserver first and then help them. So you will be available for them if they go to the emergency room or if they fall and break a hip. But you may not be available to them to go to the grocery store.
So you bring up this sense of responsibility that we all have, excuse me, that is historically there. But the whole relationship between ourselves, our parents and aging and working or not working has changed over the millennia.
Right. Dramatically.
What's the history? Where does this come from, and how were things happening way back when, and how is it different from now?
Well, in biblical times, people who lived to be 39 or 40 were really quite old.
Well, we are ancient then.
Well, there were always exceptions, And even at the turn of the century from 1899, average age at death was 49.
Wow.
So we weren't looking at, nowadays, the length of time that a caregiver spends providing care is 18 years.
Wow. Oh my.
18 years providing care for our parents?
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
So you've got to be careful. If your parent's going to live to be 49, you can do a lot of things. But if he's going to live to be 110, maybe you're going to run out of energy before they do.
And I know a lot of times we as caregivers don't want to say no to our parents. And we need to learn to say no.
You need to learn.
And also there may come a time when you have to take and do a guardianship. Is that a difficult process?
Horrible in Texas. Absolutely
we say
horrible.
no to our parents. I mean, like I mentioned in a previous show, my husband's father in Michigan really needs our help. And he refuses it, and my husband really is obviously reluctant to really sit down and have a conversation about him, about the bear in the woods, so to speak, and say, Dad, we really need to do this for you. I mean, we can't say no.
Yes, you can.
We can't be direct.
You can't say no.
Buy a book. How to say no.
Here's my theory. When you're children, this is the parent, this is the kid. You're dependent for your whole life on your parent. You sure can't say no. But when you grow to be an adult, it should be, in a healthy relationship, it should be peer-to-peer. Now, a lot of people fail to make that transition, but a healthy adult looks at their parent as a peer. So if your peer needs help and won't accept it, you let them know that you care about them. You are ready to help them if you can, but if they want to make a poor decision, that's their right.
But don't you also see a role reversal in as the parent gets older and the child, which is also a parent probably at this present time, there's a role reversal in the health issues, and sometimes the child becomes the parent, and this is what happened to me. Child becomes the parent, and the parent becomes the child.
There's this real catchy phrase that's been going around for several years. It's called, you've got to parent your parents. That's just not possible. You can feel that way, but I had a parent that was aging badly and was an extremely difficult person. And we finally decided, since she was driving erratically and had numerous fender benders and was really not safe on the road, we decided we would take her car.
Oh boy!
Oh my goodness!
And the police called.
Okay.
The police called. It's called stealing. If you take your parents'
It's
card.
called safety, actually.
No, it's called stealing.
You mean
Now,
stealing, Michelle?
She called the police?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Good for her. Good for her.
Well,
No, I don't agree with that.
I don't know that it's good
I don't
for her,
agree with
But
that.
very quickly, I got to get an answer to this. So if our parent can no longer drive safely, and I have several stories about that,
so do I.
you're suggesting that we handle that how?
There are other ways besides taking their car or taking their keys. There are ways to disable a car, or you can take it to the repair shop, or you can flatten the tires, or you can.
Yeah, but you're putting keys in a lethal situation. But, with my father, he was 80 years old. He had the car keys, and he had an accident on LBJ Freeway, and he could have killed somebody.
Well, he was in the lethal
so,
situation.
Kay, you're suggesting that we disable the car.
Blank keys. Disable the car, remove the keys. Have the discussion first and say, I don't think it's safe for you to drive. Drive in the car with them and see if you feel safe, and see if they're driving poorly. And if they are, and you feel they need to stop, you can take steps to try to stop that. Now, in theory, you should be able to take them to the Texas Department of Public Safety and have them take another driver's test. Sometimes that will work. Sometimes they refuse to go. Sometimes they're only given the written test. I've actually had physicians write a letter to the Texas Department of Safety and ask them to stop that person from driving. But remember, if you're dealing with a really determined person, they'll drive without a license, they'll drive without insurance. So sometimes it really is.
They will do it one way or another. Kay, thank you so much for that tip. I'm going to have to put that in my hopper and sort of think about it and figure out how to do this, because there are some situations I can apply those tips. That is fascinating. Thank you so much for coming on, Kay Paggy, licensed professional counselor, national certified gerontological counselor, and care manager certified. And we will be right back.
Is the best in life passing you by because you still don't have a big screen high-definition TV? How would you like a brand new extra-large state-of-the-art 50-inch plasma TV? Imagine watching your favorite shows and movies with spectacular high-definition quality picture and sound right in your own home. Tronics Country will make it happen for you. No matter what your credit history, with Tronics Country, you are approved. If you have an active checking account and can afford flexible low payments, we'll send you a brand new 50-inch high-definition TV. Guaranteed.
I never realized how much I was missing out by not having a high-definition TV. The quality of the picture is amazing.
It gets even better. With your paid order, Tronics Country will send you a free wireless laptop computer with software upgrade featuring 26 programs. Call now to receive your 50-inch plasma TV and laptop computer with software upgrade. No matter what your credit history, you are approved. Get the electronics you deserve.
Call Tronics Country today at 800-792-8014. That's 800-792-8014.
Welcome back to Grown Folk. Our next guest has a passion for wellness and health, and she has over 35 years of experience in this field, and she was a physical therapist, a licensed physical therapist for over 32 years. So we're so happy to have Maureen Riley on our show today that's going to share some of her tips to help us live a healthier life. Maureen, thank you so much for being on Grown Folk. We're so happy you came to see us today.
Good to meet you,
Maureen.
Maureen.
Thank you for inviting me.
And this is going to really be a treat, because we are going to experience what your advice through different senses. The first one is smell, because you use essential oils.
Yes.
Quite a bit, don't you?
Yes, I do. I was introduced to essential oils in the early 90s, 1991, through a friend. And slowly I became more self-educated and began using them a lot with great frequency. And what I found is they have tremendous healing ability and powers. It's not just something that smells good, although it is that. It has the different oils have natural healing properties, antiviral, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, analgesic. They've been used since the beginning of time for over 6,000 years in every civilization.
Is there a special time you're supposed to use them where they work better than others, like morning or
No, they can be used at any time, and they can be used multiple times during the day.
Why are they called essential oil? Why that word? As I scratch my dry
spot. You need some essential oil.
It is the essence of the plant
The essence
It's
of
the life force of the plant.
The life force of a plant.
Yes, yes.
And one thing that I found interesting is that you were saying that we should be using therapeutic grade essential oils?
That is the highest quality. And there is, the oils that I have used is Young Living therapeutic grade oils, and they are 100% pure and organic. If you have a cup of tea and you steep it once, it's nice and potent. If you did 5 cups, it would be very, very diluted. And frequently, other manufacturers do distill it several times. And they
essential oils basically are almost like pharmaceuticals in the way of potentially generic versus like something that's real. There is the quality difference?
There's a tremendous quality difference. Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, yes.
They're liking everything.
Concentrated, yes. And it is, many of the others have fillers like formaldehyde and other kerosene. That's why some people, if you buy a cheaper quality, that's why you might get a chemical burn. Put it in your bath water and you might get a chemical burn.
Now, where do you find these oils, these essential oils, the
true
good ones?
Yes, it is through a network marketing company, Young Living.
Young Living, okay.
So we'll have to post that information on our website for our viewers.
Yes. Absolutely.
Because you can find them in a lot of the health food types of
Yes, there
places.
are several brands. And before I was familiar with this particular brand, I used the other brands. And before I became educated and educated myself further of the quality difference and the therapeutic grade, when I first heard that, I was like, what are you talking about? What's that mean?
Right.
And
so we have to be more cognizant, obviously, of looking at labels and what's in there always.
And if it's not 100% organic, can it have like an ill effect on your body?
Well, it can from the standpoint it may have the additives of other things in it. And again, it won't be as potent. So, you know, 1 drop of peppermint is equivalent to 22 cups of peppermint tea, of peppermint oil from Young Living. I mean, it's...
Oh, wow.
And so you're only using 1 or 2 drops at a time. You're not, you know, putting 10 or 12 or 20 drops in.
And all of this can be used in aromatherapy, correct?
It can be used to infuse and just the fragrance of it. You can sometimes put a carrier oil and put it on your body. You can add it to lotions or oils for massage. There are many ways, many ways.
I don't get aromatherapy. I mean,
I
love smelling my spaghetti sauce. Aromatherapy. But okay, what is aromatherapy?
Aromatherapy is just the fragrance of, but there's actually therapeutic benefit to the aromas.
Part I don't get.
Yes.
I don't feel any different when I smell lavender.
Right.
I don't feel relaxed.
The area of the brain, the amygdala, is what where the smell comes in, and it goes. So when you smell, it goes directly to the brain and amygdala, and has some very big health benefits.
So since lavender doesn't work for them, should maybe another fragrance be used or tried?
People will gravitate to different fragrances may appeal to different people.
Right. But you know, this is fascinating, but we're going to go now to the topic of taste. And it was my mistake, and I'm going to, I left the chocolates and that table over there, so if you'll give me 1 brief second to grab them, but please, chocolates. Healthy chocolates. Talk about that for a minute.
Is there really such a thing?
Oh, I love chocolate.
It doesn't have any sugar in it.
When this is diabetic friendly. It's very low glycemic. When you hear the word chocolate, do you automatically think candy?
Yes.
No.
This is a power
I think heaven.
This is a power food.
Yum. Thank you.
Feel free.
Yes, I
Thank
shall.
you.
Look at this.
And
Power. Yum.
So are we supposed to taste this?
Yes, you may.
Did you say that there was a way to...
Yes.
What do you do?
Yes. What you want to do is you can break
don't
it.
just pop it in my mouth?
You can, and one of the best ways to do it is to put it on your tongue and let it dissolve. You can break it in a few pieces.
Break it in a few pieces.
And put it on your tongue and let it dissolve.
And is this
dark chocolate?
It's very dark.
It's dark chocolate.
Which I've yes, which I've read that dark chocolate is the healthier one.
Yes. There are several over 1 million different hits on Google of the scientific studies in medical communities, all medical schools and medical communities and medical journals all over the world, testifying and giving evidence.
Delicious.
Yeah,
giving
it's
evidence.
delicious. It's just amazing what chocolate will do to help your body to be healthy. Now I'm wondering, because I really love milk chocolate.
Me too.
Do I get any benefits out of eating milk chocolate?
Well, let me tell you the difference between chocolate confection.
I'll tell you what, Maureen. I hate to interrupt you,
Certainly.
but while you're discussing that,
yes,
I want us to move to the front of the table so that we can then introduce what you're going to teach us about the rebounder here.
Sure.
But please answer Linda's question.
Okay, and the difference between this chocolate and others is that it is raw, unprocessed, and the confection chocolate is boiled at a high temperature, and it doesn't have the nutritional value. This is a superfood. And this has all the nutritional value, antioxidants.
Right.
They fight free radicals, which are really huge in wellness.
I'm sorry, okay, we have to interrupt.
Yes. That is true.
Okay,
because we have so much to cover.
This is a rebounder, and this is another way of creating wellness in your life. And you don't need to have very high performance, aerobic bouncing to get a benefit. Just a little bit of like a mini bounce here can detoxify the body and boost the immune system.
Let me try it. Let me try it. I want to get on there.
Sure.
But I'm going to take my shoes off.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, it feels good. It feels good.
Yes.
Now, no, it's actually pretty soft.
Is it?
Yes.
And also, and I'm going to hold your hand.
Sure.
Because I don't want to fall.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm okay. But what is the difference with this rebounder as opposed to the rebounders that we see?
You can pick up a rebounder at an athletic store, and the quality is, this one is made in the U.S. and it has a very high quality control, and it is a much better quality than what are produced in Asia.
You know, this has just
and you
been
don't have to bend
fabulous.
your knees. You don't have to bend them if you have knee problems.
That's right.
Just a little
She's
bit.
going to bounce while she's
Yes, I'm goodbye. Goodbye, bouncer.
Don't forget about the t-shirt